Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope that you're well, you're happy, you're blessed. Karibu sana. This is the Edified Woman Valentines edition, and I'm very excited about this particular episode. Today we are bringing a couple on a date because that is what Valentines is all about. We get to understand what love at an age like this is about. And so what I'd like for you to do if you have a partner is bring them on board so that as they answer these questions, you'll be able to answer as well, and you'll know where your relationship is at. All right. As we say, is that Edified is where we get empowered in every sense of the word. And so Karibu sana, we're happy to have you. If you'd like to partner with us, feel free. We'd like to have you as a partner. Call this number below and we'll reach out to you. Now, I'd like us to directly get to the couple that we're having today, but do not forget to subscribe and share. All right? Karibu sana officially to the Edified Woman Love Edition.
Hi, my name is Aston Muchela. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I'm based here in Nakuru, but I also have an office in Mombasa. I practice with the law firm known as Muremi, Mbago and Muchela Advocates. And above all, I am a husband to one woman, a father to four. And I'm here to have a beautiful date with my wife. And I want to believe in the course of us having the discussions, we'll probably get to know more about us. So let me allow her to also introduce her good self.
Asante. Yes, my good self is Winnie Mumala Muchela. I am also an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I practice in the name of Batitiva and Company Advocates, which is also based in Nakuru, and we are also based in Nairobi. The rest, as you said, I confirm, we are parents of 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. We've been married. This is our 14th year, and we thank God, and it's been fun and more fun. Perhaps what we did not confirm is that we've got 4 children, perhaps maybe counting, more to come. We don't know. Maybe God will tell or confirm.
Yes, it's only God who will decide the final number. But if he's to consult me, nitamwambia tufungie hapo. If he's to consult me, I know God does not consult us sometimes. But now, this is how we'll be doing these dates. We have some cards, and we'll be picking these random cards. We don't know what questions are in these cards, but we've just been given some cards. We'll be picking them. Then we'll have some questions, and we will try to answer them in a most authentic way.
And before he also goes to the question, maybe perhaps we can confirm how we met. Now that it's been 14 years, and it's important so that it is very clear that we first met in 2005, and it was through my father. Yes, fathers play a role sometimes also in helping get a partner. And I think my father knew him as a very, very good son of his friend, now my father-in-law. And when I was joining campus, he gave me his number and told me, call this man, call this gentleman. He'll be able to show you direction now that you're joining campus. He's been there for quite some time. And indeed, when I got to campus, that is Eldoret, in 2009, as a new campus student and very eager to join, I called the number. Who answers? None other than mine truly, Mr. Muchela. I met him for the first time, and he was ever smiling, and he's still ever smiling, by the way, whether he's angry or mad. He introduced me to the campus, the various hostels, and the rest is history, because I can confirm the introduction continued, and that's why we are here still introducing ourselves. Yes, now you can begin with what you're holding. I'm sure this is going to be an exciting date. Now that I'm not also sure what is inside here, but perhaps let's see what we got for us.
Okay, there's a card here that reads, what lie about marriage did you believe before getting married, and what's the truth now? What lie about marriage did you believe before getting married, and what's the truth now? So would you want to answer the question, or I answer the question? lie about marriage did you believe before getting married, and what's the truth now? Well, maybe you can tell us what is this lie that you.
I think for me the lie, and I think I've always told you about it, is this advice that most of the time you're always told by Senje. Senje is in lawyers, it means auntie.
Aunties,
Yes. That marriage ni kuvumilia. Marriage ni kuvumilia, ukienda huko vumilia tu and that. And over time I realized hii notion ya kuvumilia is actually a fallacy. It's not the best, because over time, now that we are all adults, why vumilia when whatever unaweza vumilia, you can always discuss about it and you agree to resolve and live happy. So for me that is a lie, and I think it will actually be changed or amended, and we all embrace the fact that marriage ama ndoa ni kujienjoy ama kufurahia. Yes, because it's supposed, I don't think God created something or instituted something yenye anataka watu wavumilie. Being my father, I know alitaka ni enjoy, and anyway I confirm that sijawahi vumilia, na tulisema nilikwambia sitawahi vumilia, nikiumia mimi ninasema the good thing we always find ways of resolving it.
Okay. I think for me the lie that I had was a Swahili saying where people used to say that ndoa ni pingu za maisha. And you know pingu is the thing that police, when you do a crime, police anakuweka pingu. So it's like, it was like people are saying marriage is a prison. But then I realized if indeed marriage is a prison, then I don't mind being in prison with you. I'd rather be locked up with you forever. It's not that bad prison. So marriage indeed is not a prison. You actually enjoy you discover yourself more. You get a partner who is able to bring out the real you in your adulthood. So it's not a prison. So your pingu za maisha, you actually get to discover yourself more. That is something I've come to realize.
Nice.
In marriage.
And I like the fact that umenirishia mstari ati kama ni pingu nataka kufungwa na mimi maisha. Haya, tutafungana kabisa. But my card,
yes,
it reads, when did you first realize this was not just attraction, but a partnership you wanted to build? When did you first realize this was not just attraction, but a partnership you wanted to build? You can go first.
Yes. As you had mentioned, and I confirmed, we started interacting when you were in campus. For me, I'd just left campus, and I had started working. But during the course of work, I used to be sent to do work in Eldoret, and that is when we could meet. Now, whenever we met, we could have those two lunch dates, we could go for coffee. I used to enjoy the conversations that we were having. And you know, we were not necessarily trying to... Hatukuwa tunakatiana hiyo time.
We were just friends.
We were just really good friends. But I used to enjoy these conversations. And then I started realizing these conversations can actually go on for the rest of my life. These conversations can be part and parcel of our life, or my life for that time. Because I could say, why do I enjoy the presence of this girl? Every time nikisikia kuna kesi Eldoret, I used to be sent to go and do cases in Eldoret. So nikisikia kuna kesi Eldoret, I will rush all over the office to make sure mimi ndo nimekuwa assigned that case. And sometimes you go to court in Eldoret, the court is not sitting. Then I say, now I have a free day. I could enjoy that time. I realized, yes, this is how I want to spend my life. So this is the person I enjoy her company. With that, I was able to know that this is not just attraction. It is something that I really want to immerse my life into. So that time was very crucial for me.
The Eldoret journey.
The Eldoret
It
journey.
appears this Eldoret thing really formed a big part of what we felt for each other. Because I think, of course, I mentioned that having seen you for the first time in 2005, and I must say, how you carried yourself that particular time, I'd never seen a gentleman of that standard that you exhibited during that time. So, and I don't even can recall, I sent you a message. I said, oh, thank you so much. I'm very grateful how you
I
did it.
remember.
And it came from my heart. And I think at that time I was attracted to the extent of being a friend. Like, this can be a very good friend. Only not just an extension of what you've been saying. You come to Eldoret for your cases, and you're like, are you available? Somehow I always made myself available. Because those conversations, we could talk and talk until I even forget that I'm supposed to go back to class. And anytime you're coming, I suddenly realize I'm keen on ensuring that I look beautiful and I look nice. I put on the best dress. And they're like, Winnie, I call myself Mkutano. Nilijita Mkutano. I'm one person I don't like lying to myself. I'm like, no, jite Mkutano. Is this a friend? Or is there's something mualama ya dukuduku? And I realized, no, ninajidanganya na sitaki kujidanganya. The last person I want to lie to is me. I knew, no, this guy, there's more to it than just this friendship. There's something deeper. Ako kwa roho, yuko kwa lungs.
Uliko kwa lungs, uliko kwa roho.
Uliko umeingia mpaka ndani kwa roho kakita mizizi. And maybe perhaps that begs that question. Is it possible for people of opposite gender to be best friends? I'm not so sure if the answer is yes or no, but out of experience, sometimes there's that likelihood of realizing that you have something in common. Na kufumba na kufumbua, maneno ya roho pia inaingia hapo ndani. But God has a way of creating or building this friendship so that now they graduate. So I think at that point, Dotka graduates now I graduated from not this particular attraction and accepting that, yes, this is the guy. How then do I ensure that he also is also feeling the same for me? I think that was the uphill task. I'm at the kizungumkuti, and my greatest fear is whether you're also feeling the same ama ni yangu. Na kama ni yangu peke yake, then how do I deal with it so that it does not affect our friendship? Because I was also very afraid that what if you're also not feeling the same? And then if you know then that perhaps mine is not just an attraction or it's just not friendship, it's now deeper. And if you're not feeling the same, I felt that then it's likely to affect this particular friendship. But I'm glad it was mutual. And
yeah, it was mutual.
Yeah,
and you know, just in even answering your question, for me it got to a point when I realized that, yes, I'm ready to spend my life with you. You actually, at that point, had become my best friend.
True.
So I know that people of opposite genders can become best friends, but they must be aiming at something. It will be very dangerous for me as, let's say, a married man right now to have a best friend who is a lady. At this stage, that will be, there's a letter red flags. It's a delicate place to tread on. But at the point when we were dating, courting, I felt like you were my best friend at that time. Because I could share with you about my life, I could share with you about my vulnerabilities, you did the same, and yes, here we are. On to the next card.
No, but I never forget, even in that friendship,
Yes.
how you used to teach me about the tricks of men and how to ensure that I don't fall into the traps of perchance. But again, I've remembered the lawyer proverb, even as you're mentioning about the issue of different gender and friends. There's that lawyer proverb of saying, ati ukipatia mluya kuku, there's no lawyer can be able to put a kuku as a pet.
Let's not explain that. Okay, the card reads, what makes you feel most safe in this marriage? Emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. What makes you feel most safe in this marriage? Emotionally, spiritually, and mentally.
Oh, wow. What makes me feel most safe?
Yes.
This one I can tell you without any doubt is that I know I am loved. The fact that I know that you really love me, I've always known that I am safe, that I've got nothing to fear, that you know very well that you've got a husband who is also uplifting you in prayer, tukienda kanisa pamoja, and that that belief and that discussion to what nasema tunataka tuende mbinguni sote pamoja tupatane huko juu. And of course with the joke that we always say, hoping that huko juu pia kuna marriage and maybe, which of course is nothing, it's usually a joke. And hoping now that we are lawyers, we can negotiate. We'll petition. Tunapeleka maneno ya petition lakini huko juu kuna maandamano. So for me, I think in summary, it's just knowing that I'm loved, that I don't have to check my back and see which woman are you talking to, that I don't have to scroll your phone and check which messages have you received. When I'm scrolling your phone, maybe I'm just checking whether you're planning to take me out for a holiday, because it's a holiday. So that I can start preparing in advance. Okay, that's a confession. That's a confession.
Okay. So which one have you seen?
Dubai. I've seen Dubai. I've seen.
So it's not a surprise anymore.
It's not a surprise anymore.
Okay. For me, answering the same question, two things make me feel very safe in our marriage. The first is I am convinced and I know that I'm respected in this marriage, and for me that gives me a lot of mental and emotional satisfaction, because even when you have done something that maybe I don't really like, or I felt maybe you have done something wrong, I know you have not done it out of malice. I know you are not doing it because you want to hurt me, or you want you want to do something bad to me. So that knowledge that you respect me gives me a lot of mental and emotional satisfaction. The other thing that gives me satisfaction in this marriage is the knowledge that you have also given your life to Christ. The one thing I have always, and I always keep on praying and desiring for myself, is I know one day we will not be in this life. One day we will not be. And as much as tunapendana and we like spending our time together, the reality is siku moja mmoja wetu atatutangulia. But the knowledge that when that day comes, you will be in a better place. If you utanitangulia, or hata kama ni mimi nimekutangulia, but siku yako ikifika, you'll be in a better place. That gives me some spiritual satisfaction. It's like a spiritual cushion that indeed you also have eternity. And that's why for me it's very important that we also build our lives spiritually, because we should not just be here enjoying life here. Then what is life all about? Kama tutakula leo and that is all. Is that what life is all about? So for me, those two things, they kind of give me some satisfaction in marriage.
That's deep. And I even recall after we got married, and I think when we were still dating in 2010, 2011, when I gave my life to Christ, and you were very keen in holding my hand to ensure that I get grounded in the right church. You are very instrumental in terms of leading me that. And I must say, by the way, you participated greatly in me even giving my life to Christ. I still recall during one of the dates joining you in some church close to Deliverance. PAG? KAG. Yes, I recall. And the reason why I came there, for me, it was because I know I'm going to spend time with you. But in the
you're coming for a date in church.
And there's always been that saying where people say that a woman should be grounded in, should be so deep in Christ that any man who wants to find her should first find Christ.
Yes.
And I think the same also applies also to a man. Yes. You can imagine for me when we started interacting, I was a believer. Of course, I was brought up in a different faith, but because of that aspect of knowing that this man that I'm attracted to loves Jesus, I had no other option. And by the way, it was also a big challenge, but I thank God because through that, I also I got an opportunity to have my own personal relationship with Christ through the walk. And then after marriage, subsequently became an elder. I remember part of the challenge I was getting when you're called there at the front, you have to lead in some of these prayers I was not used to. But I thank God, here we are, that it is through you, when I meet Jesus, I will also owe that and attribute it to you, that you held his hand. And I'm glad that you're saying it's among the most important or significant things that you value. Yeah, that's quite profound.
It is.
Tutapatana mbinguni.
That's Sapatana.
Tutapatana
I hope I'll
mbinguni.
be able to identify you. I'm told there are angels there, so
They will have
I'll
a
be able
way.
to differentiate. This is Angel Winnie, and this is Angel
What we
someone
can
else.
do, remember during Rona show, we gave ourselves hint after 2 minutes. We'll give ourselves hint. Ukiona nikifanya
Nijue ni wewe.
ama nikifly sana ama nikifanya the swimming
Mimi
side.
watafukuzwa mbinguni.
Okay, let me read down what is this on my neck, in my card, on my card. What version of yourself did you have to let go of to fully show up in this relationship? What version of yourself did you have to let go of to fully show up in this relationship? What version?
Wow. Okay, that is a deep one. That one I have to think. What version of myself did I have to let go?
As you think,
Or maybe you can even tell me if you think there's a way in which I've changed.
what has crossed my mind is that the version of me of being very full of makasiriko and kujam saa zote, and then yet I've got this man who is ever happy and does not understand what makasiriko is, so that it became very difficult for us to interact, especially during our first days of marriage. Here I am, you've done something, and I'm so mad, and I'm hoping that you'll read my mind and read my heart. And here you are, you're like, okay, I am not able to read whatever you want me to. When you're ready to talk, you talk. So I'll wait for you to prompt until I realize, hey, this one, I'm not in this situation where my father will come and start hugging me and telling me, my daughter, what is it? Can you talk? I had to let go of it. I realized this one, I must always be ready to speak my heart out respectfully and be able to have a discussion so that whatever the issue is, we resolve before the sun sets and we agree to. And it's been a while. I think I really improved. Ever since, I think I've been a very, very happy woman without looking at you and feeling that you did not buy me the Valentine gift that I wanted.
And that I can actually confirm. I think, yes, that is a version that I think you have really improved.
Nil by mouth.
Yes, I remember one of the issues we used to have early in marriage. Early in marriage, you used to complain that I'm not sensitive to. What did you used to say?
To emotions.
Yeah, I'm not sensitive to
my emotions.
Yeah, to emotions. But I think over time, either I have become sensitive to those emotions, or you do not see me as being insensitive to the emotions. Maybe you have gotten to a point where you've realized sometimes I push maybe this guy too much. Yeah, but I think I can confirm that is a version that has really improved. I was still thinking about my version. The thing that has quickly come to my mind, I think before I got married, I could have probably been a little bit careless with some decisions. Not careless. Careless is the wrong word because I don't think I'm normally very careless. But I was too experimental. I could. You normally say I like adrenaline so much.
Yes.
I'm the kind of guy who would probably have wanted to see how far I can push the limits of my car. I would probably have wanted to do the longest bungee jumping that I can find. But I think now with the levels of responsibility around and just also having to accommodate other people's thoughts, I think there's some things I have regulated myself from doing, and I no longer feel the urge to do them. I control my adrenaline nowadays.
Yeah, no, that one you've managed to control. To control, it's not at all.
But I'm controlling.
Yes, you still love high adrenaline.
Okay. I think it's your card next.
Okay. What do you miss most about me when we are not around each other?
When we are not around each other, I miss the whole of you. I miss the entire package. Let me tell you who you are so that you get to know what I miss when you are not there. you're the kind of person who will always find the right stories to say. Always good company. Never a dull moment with you around. So I definitely, when you're not there, I definitely miss that. I miss the conversations. I miss the warmth that you bring into the home, into our presence when you're not there. And of course, I just miss that cinema. Najua cinema ile tu nakaa nikikuona. Kaa nikikuona. Nasema, Mungu, wewe ni mtu wangu. I definitely miss that. So it is it's something that I honestly feel I will pray that God will allow us to have as long time together as possible, because there's never a dull moment with you.
Nice. I think I've told you before, whenever you travel, or when I know you're very far from me, it's usually my longest and my dullest moment. Because somehow we are used to when in the morning, lunch hour, in between, and all that. And even over time, some of our colleagues have been wondering, Kwani, you guys never get tired of each other. Yes. We've been told that enough time. Kwani, what is this that you always just talk to each other and hamkuambiana nyumbani? Yeah. But I think for me, it's just that comfort, that warmth, just like you said. There's that kind of feeling that whenever I'm around you, that I know I am safe. I know I'm safe because I sort of like feel that nothing can go wrong. Yeah, whenever I'm just around you, because you're a sober-minded person. So you know me, I'm those kind of guys, you mess up and I will stand out and perhaps express myself. I can do things out of just without thinking deeply. But you sort of like regulate me. You manage me. You control my is it my emotions? My mind, you really like able to like tulia. Because I can be quite jumpy, I can be quite extreme.
Yes.
Yeah. But if there's one person that I know whenever I'm around him, that I am at a safe space. Yeah. Including even in the evening. Actually, almost all the time whenever you travel, somehow I will not sleep at night. I will look for movies, I'll do something. But it's because of that safe space that I always feel that for as long as you're there, nothing will go wrong. Yes, everything is always sorted, and of course I always miss just someone to listen to me. Yeah, one person is always ready to listen and lend me your ear, regardless of whatever I share. At least I know whatever it might appear stupid, but somehow I know when I share with you, you out and judge.
We listen, we don't judge.
You don't judge, yes. But you'll also be able to respond with an honest position. Like, no, that's not necessary. You don't have to return that message. You don't have to, respond to that person. You don't have to react. Yeah, so that over time I've always learned that when I can, just ensure I'm just next to you, close to you. And one of the joke, and I think I've told you before, that remember how Miles Monroe and the wife, they were also very close. And somehow when their day to go and meet their creator came, they went together. My prayer is always, if that day ever comes, God allows us to raise our children together. But if that day ever comes, other than rapture, maybe we'll rapture, but other than rapture, that will allow us to also go together. But by and large, I think we've always enjoyed each other's company, and I think that's what made us realize that we just need to make this permanent by saying I do. Because I recall even in Eldoret, even there's a time hata wale tilibiwa juu ya kutoka usiku. We will always sit and talk and some of stories will never end.
Yes.
We will talk about anything and everything. So I always miss that opportunity to just chat and share.
And even in on a smaller scale, there are even some small things that I normally miss when you're not there. I've just remembered the time you had gone to Mombasa, I think, with your girlfriends. You people wanted to go and have some fun. Those were very long days. And I remember, if I wanted something small, I used to call you. You are in Mombasa. I used to call you, nakwambia, this is what I need. And then you used to call the people in the house to sort me out. Yet these people are in the house. I'm also in the house. But somehow I used to feel safe when I come through you. Somehow you are able to package my needs properly, deliver it to whoever is supposed to deliver that need. By the time it's coming, it is okay. because mimi nikipigia mtu nimwambie nataka hii chakula, I'll just give the raw way of how you can say nataka chakula fulani. But for you, somehow, when I tell you this is what I feel like eating, you will know exactly what I want. You will give the right instructions. It will be packaged well, and it will be delivered. So those are the small things, that some order in my life, that when you are not there, I can actually feel kuna vitu hapa ninakosa.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the other card is in moments of conflict, what do you remind yourself about your partner to stay grounded? In moments of conflict, what do you remind yourself about your partner, in this case about me, that helps you to stay grounded?
For me, one major thing that I had said earlier, that I always remind myself, and that's the most important thing, is that I know you love me. That regardless of whether we are agreeing or disagreeing, the fact that I know you love me, so like normally it helps me to just relax. I'm like, okay, this one we have disagreed. It should not be the cause of why this particular love should be interfered with, or affected. And I've always known over time that everything that we do, everything, be it our thoughts, be it our action, is almost coming out of good faith. I've never known you to be a malicious person. So when I remember all that, whenever there's that, whenever we are facing any challenge, all this will also come to pass. It's not from a point of you trying to be malicious, you trying to hurt me. It's by virtue of us just being human. And for as long as people who are from different upbringing are together, there'll always be that conflict or disagreement. So whenever I remember that, I'm like, yeah, it's not worth the fight. And whenever I remember also our friendship, that, okay, if this conflict is escalated, then it's likely to definitely affect how we relate. And for me, one thing I dread is that time when we cannot talk to each other. Or I want to call you and I'm like, okay, tulikosana. So I'm like, no, anytime I think of a conflict, I'm like, no, I'd rather even give in even if I don't want, for purpose of ensuring that we don't fall into any disagreement, so that that particular relationship is still maintained, that particular friendship is still maintained. Because one thing that I always valued before we got married is our friendship.
Yes.
Before our marriage, before us being husband and wife, there's this friendship that allows us to talk about anything and everything, about anyone and anything around us. So you see that particular friendship, like, God, I don't want this. I've always wanted to guard this friendship. So kukiwa na hiyo kitu ya makasiriko, it gives me the strength or conflict to either say, okay, fine, let me give in. Fine, let me just ignore it. Fine, let's just calm down and find ways of, meeting at a central ground, provided this friendship, this relationship remains intact.
I think the same also applies to me, because there's nothing that's really bad when there's conflict in marriage, because you miss out on the good things that we otherwise experience in marriage. As you see, as I just mentioned, one of the things that I normally miss when maybe you have traveled and we are not together, is that company. So whenever there's conflict, it therefore means that you can't enjoy someone's company. Unajua you have a few minutes of, or even hours of silence, it means you're missing out on something. So every time I think about that and I say, hey, so it means we'll not be talking for a long time. No, we have to find a resolution. We have to find a resolution. And then for me also, I keep on reminding myself that our marriage is a God-given institution. I always try to remind myself intentionally, that God is the one who allowed us to get married. So how do we portray ourselves in His presence when we are not dealing with conflict? That Mungu ametuambia mukae hapa, amesema let no man put us asunder, and then sisi wenyewe we are going to put ourselves asunder. I think it is in direct conflict with what God desires of us. So when I think about those two things, I normally tell myself, at the end of the day, we have to resolve this conflict. Because honestly, do you know how stressful it can be to live with someone mwenye mumekosana naye?
And sleep in the same bed.
Sleep in the same bed. You have to see this person. Why stress ourselves like that? Just resolve the conflict. Go back to the normal you, and life is good. You know, in the office, if I kosana with a client in the office, I know I'll not have to see that client in the evening. I'll not have to see that client in the morning. But if it's my wife, surely I'll have to sleep in the same bed with her, wake up and see her, share a car with her. So no. I don't think we have space for conflict.
And I think for me, what I also dreaded the most is now our children feeling that dad and mom have fallen out. This is also from my childhood experience. I was never happy, never I could tell that my parents are not in good atmosphere. It used to hurt me. And I learned that lesson. And I vowed to ensure that my children should never at any given time imagine that me and their father, that we're not friends, that me and their father were having a conflict or an issue. So because of that, it has always brought me to order. That, and you know, our girl Naomi, she'll literally ask, Mom, can I relate to Dad? And you know, up to date, whatever she always says, like, and she tells everyone that she meets, Mom and Dad wanapendana sana. She's just 3 years old.
Says that.
She's just 3 years old. Mom, unapenda Dad. Dad, unapenda Mom. And she'll go hug her sister also to show that they also love each other. So that for me, I'm like, wow, this is what I really, really wanted when I was just, you know, growing up and envisioning for my family and for my children, that at any given time, they know me and their father, we are tight. And of course, it will also not give them any opportunity to try and kutupanga. You know, the children know, yes, Mom and Dad, they're not talking. So they come and ask something from Mom. Mom akikataa najua sasa Dad and Mama ongeleshani, go and get the same from Dad. So they know at any given time, we are talking in one voice. So and that alone just ensures that the place of conflict, haikaribishwi mahali.
And maybe before we even go to the next card, you know, you've just mentioned something that probably for you gave you some life experience because you saw conflict in your family. For me, and I say thank God for that, I didn't experience conflict in our family growing up. So really, I did not have any life experience on how to handle family or marital conflict. I hope I've been doing it okay. Maybe you can tell me.
No, you want me.
Because I was learning on the job.
No, you told me. You told me you and conflicts, you don't understand it. That if there's any issue, talk. If you don't talk about it, you'll not be able to know even how to handle it. But I think your experience was very good, which I actually can confirm now that at least now I'm part of the family. That when I see how our parents, now my parents, you know, they live together happily and you're like, okay, these people never fight. The truth, I think they fight, but they are able to solve it in a mature way that does not affect.
As children, we never saw
it. The children will not see it. Because the instances where you find parents having that conflict and also exchanging in the house, in the presence of their children, I think now when we are able to be very intentional and say, no, this is how we want this home to be able to be run, that even if we have any disagreement, let's resolve it in a mature way. But which is true. We've always had instances where we disagree.
Yes.
And somehow, and I thank God because we were able to be very intentional on this, we agree and we find a way of discussing it and coming to an agreement or consensus without necessarily straining our relationship or bringing on board third party or our children or any person around us knowing it. Yeah. So I think now my card, they're almost coming. No, we still have. But these are interesting. I love it. It says, what version of us do you sometimes miss and what version are you grateful for now? What version of us do you sometimes miss and what version are you grateful for now?
The version of us that I miss. Let me first of all say that I think in our marriage, we have become better. And if there's a version I miss, it is not because we are not enjoying the current version of us. I think we are only improving in terms of our relationship, what we do, how we interact. Something that I miss, I think early in marriage, we had less responsibilities. So we could probably do many things together, like travel, go to different places, go for movies. We will probably do more of that then than what we are doing now. But I really don't necessarily say that we are not in a better place. I understand maybe the responsibilities have become more. We have 4 kids. Did you know we have 4 kids? We have 4 kids to take care of. We have responsibilities in our social circles, church, workplaces. Responsibilities have increased. Responsibilities with the extended families. So maybe that has really forced us to drop some things that we used to do early in marriage. But that does not necessarily mean I regret that, because I understand even in life people progress. Probably the things you're doing now in the next 15 years will not be able to do, but we'll move into that chapter and we'll do whatever that chapter requires.
Yes. For me, the one that I'll always miss, and I think that's why those ones who are still freshly married, they should ensure they maximize on it, is those times we could just come from work and we're just the two of us, and we will have a carefree attitude in the house. If you want to, walk in your hot pants, to walk naked, nobody will, you don't mind about anyone. And I still recall one of our neighbors saying that you will never be around because we'll play around in the house, including hide and seek.
Imagine.
No, and you see, I think that's why it's good to marry your friend, because you see, you're able to bring those playfulness now in the house, and it makes marriage beautiful, and it makes it now worth so enjoy. We'll literally chase each other around the compound and scream and shout. I think when we did not realize that we're having neighbors around, we just thought that it's just us and us alone, and it was fun. We will just wake up and we decide to travel and go for holiday, go to Pasay and all that. Which, of course, is because it was just us.
The two of us.
It's just the two of us. We'll lock ourselves in the
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes, or to Muchela sitting room.
Sitting room. Watch a movie and we fall asleep there.
Yes, we watch a movie or shoot our own movie there. The details is up to us. But it was a quite intimate moment. But you see, the beauty of it is that now we can remember. So that when the babies grow big, and perhaps when they now also go and form their own homes and family, there's this one they call empty nesters. No, we'll revisit. So, and that is why when you see me going to the gym, and I know my friends know I really like working out, I'm very keen to ensure even if I'm 60, and
still
70, I will still have the energy to run. So you'll try to, if you're not working out on your body, that's up to you. You'll be trying to catch I'll have the energy. Ninakuchokoza na wezi nifikia. Because now I will be now more stronger than when I let kucheza. But for those who know me, that's the reason why I really on keen on taking care of this body. Yes, of course, I'm happy that this year, as I turn 40, and I'm always happy and proud, I thank God that, you know what, as women fear sharing their age. But for me, when as I turn 40, this life begins, and I'm grateful now for where we are right now. Because, of course, now, when I sit down and I see the running up and down and those intimate moments we have now, we're blessed with 4 children. I look at them, I see their different characters, and perhaps I'm already trying to visualize walking down my daughter down the aisle to go and start their own family. So where we are currently, of course, it's full of responsibilities, but I think it's interesting. It's interesting coming from work and opening the door and find all the babies singing for you. My mom is the best, and all that. And of course, there's also responsibility also from less extended responsibility, but it makes me realize that I'm no longer that young girl that I was, that life is fast moving, and because life is fast moving, then I have no room to slow myself down. I have to make good use of each and every day, because like we were saying, the past was very interesting. We are currently in this, and you have to make it more interesting, because again, as you said it, we'll be past it. So that now when you are past it, when we get now to that age where now we are grandparents, we'll be looking back and you're like, wow, we made good parents. We were able to bring up these children well. When we are talking about a child being a professor, one maybe perhaps being a pastor, serving God, whichever way. And I think for us, it will be the greatest thing that now we'll be celebrating. Now that in the past, we are celebrating about our honeymooning and building ourselves and that foundation. From that foundation, we've been able to bring the children. Now the children are here. So like, how do we raise them so that now they become responsible people in the society, and we release them to the world? And then now we get to the next level. Now it's just us and the world alone, which I look forward to.
Yes,
so, my man.
Yes, and you know the thing that I still like, even with our current situation, is that in as much as, yes, responsibilities have increased and we may not be able to do what we used to do in the past, but in a little way we try. We try. Whenever we get time, we try to have fun, just the two of us, without necessarily the interference of kids, family, friends, work, clients. So I think that intentional trying keeps the spark. But when we'll become empty nesters, we'll reignite the fire again.
Courtship for a whole month or a year.
Ushasema. Ushasema. Okay. This is the card. It says, "How have children changed our marriage? How have children changed our marriage?" You want to go first?
Yes. Okay. I think it has changed, but also to the positive. Yeah. In terms of, I think it has even brought us closer. In that we were able to sometimes just sit down and just, like even today when we were coming, when we were at the basement, I told you, can you imagine we now have 4 children? Can you imagine our son is almost becoming a teenager? You know, those excitement that we were able to make these 4 babies. Of course, when we talk about we're able to make, it gives us how the journey, the love that we've had and shared, and being able to see the different characters that they able to all exhibit. Like, wow, this is great. The love that they also bring, or the warmth that they also bring to this marriage. Yes. Yeah, that when we go home, or sometimes I call you, I expect you to be in the office. I'm like, sweet, in the office I come. I'm like, imagine I'm still in the house. These girls have made me not to go. And then I laugh because I know what has happened. That seriously, these daughters of yours have been able to ground you. That despite knowing that you have got some commitment at work, that they have really held your heart to the extent that you cannot even let go. And I'll find you there just seated and watching and staring at them and carrying them around and all that. And of course, for me, it also makes me feel very happy that I chose the best partner. Being able to see you being the best dad to our children. I remember sometimes I tell our son, our firstborn son, Maurice, you need to pay me for selecting the best daddy for you, which is true. I think when he grows up, he'll need to pay. Yeah, I'm the one who selected. I'm the one who selected. Because you know, sometimes I think you even overspoil them. But I think you are a present dad. And for me, that always assures me that I selected the best man. Seeing you just being, not just being a great husband, but just being a great dad. Yeah, being present. The reason why I'm saying I'm still counting on children is because how I've seen you treat me even during that journey when I'm pregnant. You know, I'm like, oh God, if this is how I'm treated when I'm pregnant, I should be pregnant all through. Literally like an egg, until you realize, wow, I think this is a good journey because you're always there when I'm going for the clinics. By all the clinics, you've been present. When you're going for the delivery, you have always been there just to ensure that all is okay. And I've never forgotten one of the nurses when we were at War Memorial telling me, you are a very rare woman. During these deliveries and when you are bringing forth these children, when women wake up from anesthesia, from surgery, they demand for their children. For you, you wake up and you demand for your husband. As in, what is this? But I'm like, no, it's because I know for as long as I see my husband, my child will be okay. And of course, as I've always told you, before my children come first. So of course, now when I see you, I know the children are safe. One thing I know for sure, even when I'm not here, God forbid, mimi nikitangulia, I have got no doubt that these babies will be very okay, will be very fine, will be sorted. And I think these children have made us have that realization, or has made me have that realization, that I selected the best man. He's just not a husband, but he's also a father. And he's also a leader and the head in our home, being available in their school. I can go on and on and on. That these children have actually confirmed that I made the best decision.
Yeah, I think that is true, and it's we thank God for giving us the blessing of children. As you said, they've really brought a new wave of happiness and joy, and they also bring their own warmth in the family. The one thing which I also want to add on as I answer this question, how they've changed our marriage. I think when the memo we did not get, the memo we did not get about children is that the moment children come, your bedroom is not yours anymore. They're always there. I remember our firstborn, God bless Maurice, he's a good young man. When Maurice was born, I think also because we were first-time parents, we were new in the game, we also wanted to shower him with as much love as possible. Probably in our naivety, thinking that that's how we show him love, and I think it was not a bad thing. We kept him so much in our room. We kept him so much in our room, and every little cry, tutamweka hapo kwa kitanda yetu, anatoka kwa baby coat yake. So for those moments, of course, he interfered with our privacy for those moments. If you know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm saying,
Alama ya dukuduku.
Alama ya dukuduku. But we thank God. We thank God because I think after Maurice, the rest we have been able to kind of try to interfere sana. But yes, we've survived the journey. We've survived the journey of four children.
Yes, because I think the other concern normally is when these babies come, sometimes they might strain even the relationship between the couples. I think that was also my concern. That how do we ensure that they don't come as much as they're a blessing, but we also ensure that our relationship remains intact in terms of our intimacy, in terms of our communication, in terms of our attraction to each other. I was very concerned that, you know what, after the babies, I don't want to you're like, because I think that's also some of the concern that normally happens in marriage. Because after children, of course, your body, you form in size. And ilikuwa size ngapi?
Wanasemanga ile size ndogo.
And then of course, yes, with the babies comes those the extra calories, the new look, and all that. So I think for me that was also the concern, and which indeed happened. But one thing I remember is that you were like, I did not marry because of your shape. There's a time I even asked you, like, no, you're fine. I know it's because of these babies, and you're okay. But you see, the fact that you gave me that assurance, it made me not feel less attractive to you, because that is also normally the other concern. Yeah, that, oh God, am I still less attractive to my husband? Does he still see me? Does he still love me? Amataza kwenda nje. Because during this time, I've heard of those stories. If I know since I'm not maybe my libido imeenda chini, engaged maybe my physique, I'm a bit concerned, but that assurance, so that at least with the many children or the children that came afterward, we're still able to hold each other's hand. We're still able to find the opportunity to just be intimate with each other. Sometimes even to run away from home.
Yes.
By the way, there are times we will literally run away from home so that we just get our time.
And there's something that I've also come to realize that positively affected our marriage when the children came. You know, when we did not have children, we loved each other the way we were, and no one else was giving me the reason to love you. It was me who chose to love you. But with the advent of children, they actually give me a reason also to love you. I've come to realize that the best gift I can give my children is to love their mother. Even if I say I will buy for them toys, I'll buy for them clothes, I'll take them places, I'll give them a good education, I know they love you, and they love you so much, such that if I hurt you, I'm also hurting them. They will feel it. Even if they'll not tell me, they will feel it. So I think when children came, then I realized even my love for my wife must even be stronger. And I think it has, when children came, it has helped to unite us more. You know the way sometimes we just look for ourselves to go for a date, to think about our children, to pray about our children. What is the best we can do for these children? So kind of them coming also in a positive way has improved our relationship.
True, true. So let me read what is on this card.
Yes.
How do you communicate disappointment without disrespecting each other? How do you communicate disappointment without disrespecting each other?
Okay. To be honest, initially it was not easy because sometimes when you are disappointed, you feel like you will not want to talk too much about it. But with time, of course, we've come to realize the best way is to talk about it. The only way I can communicate disappointment is by talking about it so that I clearly express what I am feeling. If I want to use nonverbal communication, then there's a risk that it may be misinterpreted. So how I have realized, and what I normally do in our marriage, is when I'm disappointed, I just talk about it. I tell you, I share, I say, hey, hapa uliniangusha kidogo. But even in the way I communicate, in the words that I communicate, I remember the one thing that we've agreed we'll be doing in our marriage, and it's what we do, is when you have to choose between being right and being kind, you choose kindness. Such that if I have to communicate disappointment, I'm not communicating because I want to be right. I communicate knowing that I have to choose kindness. So that will kind of, it will make me choose the words carefully. You know, you can communicate disappointment through abuse. Yes, you are disappointed, and I'm there abusing you, using words that I can never take back. So the way I do it in our marriage is I speak out. I speak out. But you're the one who should confirm that. You know, maybe I think that is what I do.
No, actually, the only concern I normally have, and I've learned to ensure I don't abuse that, is that, interestingly, for you, whether you're mad or you're not, you always communicate when you're smiling. And, you know, the people who just smile and you cannot tell the emotion. Sometimes they can be quite scary. Like saying that, hey, you may never know now when you cross the line completely. So, but I think I'm a wise woman. To be honest, I thank God, because I've learned that sometimes don't take some things for granted, some favors, when someone is kind to you, don't take it, or someone appears to be very good. That is one thing I can tell you for sure. I've literally been very intentional on it, so that I never take you for granted. Including in this particular marriage, that even as you smile, there are many times I ask you, are you mad? Or someone has done something wrong and you're still there, telling them off, and you're smiling, and no, this person needs to show it still in your face that you're mad. Anyway, but for me, that way of communicating, it has made me realize that you're not attacking me, you're attacking the issue. That's not about me. So that's why you don't have to really fall your face. But of course, people are different. Over time, you see, before I will tell you off and all that, until I think one day, and we keep learning in marriage.
Yes.
And I am glad that sometimes when attending this women fellowship, when attending or meeting with the older women who are in marriage, sometimes they'll let you know that, us women can really talk. I'm mad and I think you look like a baboon. I will tell you out because I'm like, let me say something that will hit you out. And I thank God I learned that early. That at that heat of the moment, when I feel I may be disrespectful, I'll not talk. Of course, I keep quiet. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yes,
I will
yes.
just pull out because I'm like, God, I'm not so sure what to say right now. I am mad. And also my father, I remember he taught me that because I think I mentioned to you when I was in campus at some point I fought. I was those kind of people, you get to my nerves, I just don't know what to do. I will, but I thank God by getting born again and also being talked to, that when you think you're mad, when you think you're disappointed, you don't have to react immediately. Cool off, walk, think about it, and even weigh your words. So I've learned to do that. I will ensure that when at the heat of the moment, because you not hold me for keeping quiet.
Yes.
And words that I've said to you, even if later on I will apologize, I
They
know
can never be
I will
taken
never
back.
take them back.
Yeah.
So having known that, no matter how much nimekasirika na wewe aje, heri niende gym konge hiyo punching bag, nikimbie field, nitoe hiyo adrenaline, and then now once I feel now I've cooled out, I'm now having the right hormones. Now I can come. So I've learned also the art of learning the timing. Then I'm like, okay, I think I want to tell you about this issue. But I'm like, I think this timing may not be perfect because you've handled either a bad case. I know either this particular time, either you're exhausted. I think either for this particular time I'm still mad. So I look for a perfect moment. Mostly I realize for us it can be in the morning or during midday. Where we're like, are you ready for coffee? Can we meet over coffee? And then I'm able to talk out. And I'm not very keen about airing whenever I feel perhaps I'm not happy, so that it does not affect how I relate with you, how I interact with you, so that it's not fake. Yeah, initially you're like, wacha tu nimeze. But nikimezea, yes, you are in the house, or perhaps we want to be intimate with each other. You're holding my hand, I'm like, unashika mkono na jana ulinishambutia. So the fact that I didn't say it, and I may decide to sweep it under the carpet, I realized it affects how my authenticity.
Yes.
So and there's that nice feeling on your authentic. It's just beautiful. So I'm like, let me get the timing, and let me not just be I react immediately at the heat of the moment. Let the heat cool. I think that's maturing. I think that's adulting.
I think that is quite profound. I remember there are times when we could probably have two small disagreements in marriage, and maybe when we didn't get the timing for the communication right, we ended up not resolving the whole issue. For example, I think by now we've gotten to understand that you are not an evening person. You are a purely morning person. The early bird. You know, mnakula zile minyoo zote. The one who catches the worm. For me, I'm an evening person. So I think there were times when you would wake up very early in the morning. I'm probably still in bed. But for you, because you're a morning person, you're fresh, you'd feel like we
need to talk.
We need to talk.
Sweets, we need to talk.
So unaniambia sweets, we need to
talk.
So
And I'm still sleeping.
Maybe I'm still in bed, as in I'm probably I still have 3-4 dreams nimezipanganisha hapo mbele. Kuna ile dream ya kununua nyumba
ya pesa
ya lakini ninaambiwa we need to talk. I think I realized during such times we never used to have very good conversations. We never used to, and
actually things used to get worse.
Things used to get worse. Exactly, and you see, it's not because there was nothing genuine to be discussed, but I think we were getting the timing wrong. Probably, and for me, I had wanted we resolve this thing in the evening. We resolve this thing in the evening, kabla tulale. But I failed to understand you're not an evening person. In the evening, you want to rest, you want to clear your mind. You've had a long day. So mimi nikilala before we resolve that issue. Sitaki kuongeleshwa asubuhi. Wewe sasa umeamuka unataka kuongea. But somehow we've now come to realize balance. That I think with that realization, sometimes I appreciate when you have to talk to me for something in the morning. I appreciate this is your best time. I don't have to be grumpy about it. But by and large, we try as much as possible to find a time that is most convenient for us.
So you normally look for each other wakati 11 Do you need coffee?
Exactly.
Do you think you need coffee? Nikisikia, do you think you need coffee?
Now we can go and talk.
And I think that time is usually so okay because now you're all fresh.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then no, I think also in the middle of coffee, somehow mtu unafurahi as you eat the coffee and the cake, you really this was not even a big deal.
No, not a big
deal. It
deal.
becomes easier to even just open up and let go of what needs to be let go.
Oh, it's my card or your card?
Your card.
Okay. It reads, in what ways is your relationship different now compared to your first years together? In what ways is your relationship different now compared to your first years together? I think it also almost sounds like something we have answered.
Yes.
But
I think now I know you better. Best. Actually, let me say best. I can almost, if I need to make a decision, I can almost tell what your response will be. So that even if I just call you for purposes of confirmation, as opposed to now deliberation and discussion, and I can almost tell, yes, this is who my husband is.
for me, that's not a very good thing. Not a very good thing, because I remember in our early years of marriage, I could pull surprises nowadays, man. I want to take you somewhere, somehow you've
I can tell you your next move. I know your next move.
No, my next moves, man. I'm no longer that spontaneous guy.
It's those things that are called good problems.
Oh, yes.
It's a problem because now you cannot pull a surprise. But it's a good one because now, at least, you're sure. You'll not be having challenge in someone knowing the kind that's who is act on. Yes, this is what is expected of me, this is what is expected of you. And it's almost like a smooth ride. We're at that point of now, tulianza hiyo kupanda mlima, I think that's ni mteremko and just, when you're doing those slides, time ya kupanda hizo stairs, you use a lot of effort. Asa time ya kushuka sasa ni kunywe. I think it's more of that. The reason I can confirm that, I can almost try to check when was the last time, in terms of a disagreement, in terms of kosana, as you can barely even remember. But somehow, you can almost know, this is what we agreed, this is where we are going, this is where we are headed. And it makes things so seamless, without so much effort, without kukwaruzana, without kukosana, without... And then I think that part of also being vulnerable to each other, we've now, even years, as in, I'm able to lay bare with you. That takes on, yes, ni kwaruze, ni pake mafuta, ni tuwe hiyo pimple up, as in we're able to lay bare to each other in terms of just just on the face of it, hiyo kusema hakuna kusikia aibu mbele ya mwingine.
Yeah. I think then it's just the same for me. The fact that now we have gotten to know each other more, it has really improved the way we interact. It has reduced the conflicts, as you said. It's not even, can't now even remember the last conflict no, I think we can remember the last conflict.
Ilikuwa gani?
You went and bought a whole sofa set. I think you remember that time we were planning to buy a dining set. But for some reason, you fell in love with some sofa sets.
But you know, deep inside, I thought I'm surprising you.
Yes,
that you'll come.
Yes.
Proverbs 31, she sees at the gate, she goes and invests. So, no, by the way, I confess that. And I told you it was from a point of very clean heart. Ilikuwa of upendo. That utakuja furahi vile make us smart. Only for me to surprise myself. Do I tell them how you treated me that time? Almost 2 days.
The beauty of this is that now we are able to laugh about it.
Exactly. And I told you, nilijichuna masikio. Never ever again. The only thing I'll be surprising you ni kama ni keki, kama juice. This major investment, which I think it's we are normally.
By the way, for me, it has really nothing to do. It had really nothing to do with the value of the money that you spent on that. It's only that I thought we had agreed.
Priority.
Yeah, I thought we had agreed this is the furniture we are purchasing. We are saving for. So when I found a different furniture and we had not yet secured what we were still buying, kidogo nika feel disappointed. But the beauty, as we say, we now laugh about it.
But you know, they say your wife has always been an ambitious woman. So my ambition took me to an extra sofa set. Yes. In my mind, maybe I was trusting God for a bigger house. The house will expand and it will fit. But let me just ask you and be honest. Were those sofa sets not beautiful?
No, the sofa sets were
Ah,
good.
thank you.
They
I
are
rest
very
my
beautiful.
don't explain.
Very
I know your explanation, like we are not agreed. Thank you for that. So can I read my next card so
Yes,
that you don't
please.
explain?
Yes, please.
So what does sacrifice look like in your relationship? And who sacrifices what? What does sacrifice look like in your relationship? And who sacrifices what?
Sacrifice for me basically means that I have to put your needs ahead of mine. That one for me is what sacrifice is all about. Um, if you have to think, if I have to think of something that I want, I'll ask myself first, what does my wife think about this? If she's not comfortable with it, if she thinks it's a wrong decision, then I'll have to consider your thoughts. I'll have to consider your thoughts. That, of course, is not something that a single person will probably be involved with, because when you're single, it is you and you alone. As in, you decide where to go, you decide what to eat, you decide where to live. But as a married person, sacrifice for me means that I have to put my wife's thoughts before mine. If for some reason I feel that her thoughts and her wishes are not aligned, then it will mean I have to take time to have a discussion with her and tell her why I feel we should go with my idea and not her idea. But I can't just rubbish whatever she says, whatever she feels, whatever you are thinking. That for me is sacrifice.
Okay.
Yes.
I think there's someone who made a joke and said that almost all lawyers know Kiswahili. So hii I think mimi nitajaribu kuisema kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Sacrifice inamaanisha
bora utumie jina ndiposa.
Ndiposa
hapo ndani.
Ndiposa uweze kujua hapo kuelewa. Vizuri. Wacha niongee kwa lugha ya Kiswahili, ni kuweka mahitaji yako mbele yangu. Yale ambayo unataka yafanyike niweke mbele yako, ndiposa uweze kufurahi, na ukifurahi pia mimi nitafurahi. And just like you've said, by the way, I think for me sacrifice, and I think it's the most one of the most important aspects in a marriage, is that sometimes there are things that I may not want, but it doesn't mean that they are okay, they're bad, but I may need to put aside some of my desires, to accommodate you, or to accommodate your needs, or to accommodate your wishes. That sacrifice, just like you've said, is that I'm called to sometimes feel uncomfortable, for lack of a better words, just to accommodate you. And I think it's not a very easy thing. Just as usually I always say, my reflection in terms of this marriage is just when I look at Christ, how he sacrificed his life just for me, because he loved me. Akaenda kasikia hiyo uchungu yote nini, and not because he did not have the option of saying msidungilie msumari hapa, but because of that love, he decided acha tu nikufe hapa msalabani, to sacrifice for these people so that they do not perish. And I think that's how I also feel it, that Christ has called me as Winnie, as Mrs. Muchela, who I took that vow, and before Jesus and before man, that I'll be able to use to sacrifice, to let go sometimes of my comfort, just to be able to accommodate your wishes, your desire, that you're able to know that niko hapa kwa hali na mali, kwa hali yoyote vile, that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to ensure that we walk together, we keep our vows. So I think for me that's what sacrifice. Does sacrifice entail also taking a bullet for another?
Taking a bullet. Christ took nails, Bana.
And like nails is just like bullet, because nails, it killed him.
They killed him. So yes, so that will probably entail that. I imagine what we are told in the Bible. You love your wife as Christ loved the church. Do you know that's a very high standard? That's an extremely high standard, because we are being told to do it as Christ did it. Now, remember, we are not God. Christ is God. We are not God, but we are being told to do it as he did it. So I think when I reflect on that, I feel like this issue of sacrificing and is not something I can even negotiate. I can negotiate with, because if Christ could sacrifice his life, if God could sacrifice his son, then who am I not to sacrifice a few pleasures of life for the sake of my wife? I remember one thing that happened, I think it was last year or the other year, and I shared with you. I remember there was a time I got some communication. I was actually given
opportunity to go to the
yes,
country.
an opportunity to go.
That?
Yes, that one. The opportunity to go to Canada. And they kept on calling and saying, why aren't you following up with the process? But I remembered, even when I applied, I was doing it as a joke. I didn't even imagine it would get serious. So when it got serious and they told me I'm qualified, I realized, hey, this does not align to what we had planned as a family. Because I think we had agreed that we
always move together.
We'd always move together. So I cannot make such a selfish decision and say, hey, I have an opportunity here to go to Canada, and it's not something that we have aligned our thoughts on. So I immediately just brushed it aside and said, now this I can't.
No, talk of that sacrifice. I think it was a big sacrifice. And I think it's currently happening even in our generation. Whereby sometimes you've got this promotion, you've got this scholarship, employment that require you perhaps to be away from your spouse and go and either study abroad or work abroad. And of course it comes with money. And families have got different ways they've decided. I think for us we had said no, we'll always put ourselves, our family first. Yes. That the fact that we all said we want to live together, there's no one who is going far from the other unless we're going together. And I think for me that was the ultimate sacrifice that you also had to pay, because I think it was a very good job. And maybe you'll have been a Canadian citizen, and which other citizen?
They're giving me work permits. They're going to process a work permit for me. But even as we say this, I am saying it with the background and the knowledge that maybe other family dynamics are different. So a family that has been forced to stay separate from each other because of maybe whatever work reasons, they should not feel like they have not sacrificed for each other, because family dynamics are different. For us, we had agreed even from the time we were getting married that we'll try as much as possible to stay together, but we are not necessarily condemning a couple that for some reason they have had to
because even those ones who even perhaps agree to such an offer that they go they stay separate, that is maybe also a sacrifice, because maybe you realize you need to fend for your family, you need to provide, you need to give them a certain lifestyle, which perhaps if we are together it is not possible.
It's not possible.
However, I think what I always try to emphasize, if it can only be for a limited time, and ensure that you have a work plan, so that at some point you get back together. Because I don't think it was in God's ideal plan for a husband and wife to live apart for many years. I don't think so. Reason being, in this being together, there are children to be raised, there is, that praying together, just being and fighting other temptations. So imagine you being away from me for like 10 years. In between these 10 years, I learned to live without you. The children will miss out that bond. So that if it can be for a limited time, because again, the other thing I say, finances, resources will never be enough. One thing I know, the greatest calling that we have right now is for us to remain married, for us to raise our children. No amount of money, no amount of money can replace that. So that if we can do it for a period, a limited period of time, maximum, I say, let's say 2 years, and then you come up with a working plan to be together. That is my opinion. I know someone else might have a different opinion, but for me, that is my opinion, because it's among the reasons we find we have infidelity, among the reasons we find if it's children, sometimes they have missed their parents, if it's sons, they have missed their father, they start being rebellious. So this is a very important calling that you have, even before provision. of being a present father, of being a present husband, of being a present wife and a mother, that we must be alive to it, so that everything that we do must always align to this, to that higher calling.
And I think for us, we can only pray that if, God forbid, He will ever want us to separate, He'll give us enough grace for that, because it's not something we really want to imagine,
Exactly.
that we'll stay in separate